Today I have an absolute doozy for you guys. I'm actually kind of giddy to get started on this because I honestly just never really understood the numbers as well as I did today after doing some research. And I got some bad news for you, America. You are getting the good news is you made the top 10. The bad news is it was for absolutely the wrong measurement. You guys made top 10 for inflation across the G20, including the 19 countries and the European Union. So let's check this out here. I want to just zoom right in. So before we get into some of the military spending of how we got here with quantitative easing and inflation, I want to just talk about this right here. So if we look into here, you can see that the U.S. has beat out only Australia, Canada, India, Brazil, France, Indonesia, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Japan, and China. Wait a minute. That's backwards. We lost. You guys lost to all those countries, okay? The U.S. is in the top 10 for highest inflation in the G20, coming in at number 10 behind only South Africa, Mexico, Germany, the European Union as a whole, the U.K., Russia, Italy, Turkey, and Argentina. Reminder, there's an entire war going on here right now in Russia. So how the hell did we get here? Well, there's a couple things that really got us to this position. First of all, the Federal Reserve printed $3.3 trillion in 2020 alone, which according to City AM equates to about 1/5 of all U.S. dollars in circulation in the same year. Okay, it printed 20% of the entire money supply. But what the hell's wrong with that? Well, there's a couple things wrong with that. The inflationary effects of QE are evident in 2022, of course, because inflation's reached a 41-year high, peaking at 8.5% in March. 8.5%, guys. Reminder that inflation's supposed to be pegged somewhere between 2 and 3%. And what the hell happens when we have inflation running away on us like this? Well, of course, we get rising interest rates, okay? We get market volatility because obviously it disrupts everything. When cost of goods sold becomes that much more expensive, when food, when gas, when oil, when everything that you make your products and services with becomes more expensive, it disrupts the market a little bit. So that is a few of the issues that got us here. But you can also see that, things like the Russian invasion of Ukraine contributed to market volatility. But is that really all that happened here? Is that why the U.S. is actually suffering? Do you really think that the invasion of Ukraine by Russia is actually what set you guys on the bad path? Well, maybe you do, but I'm here to shed some light on why that might not be the full story. So buckle up, because this is going to be a fun one.
Bonjour, everyone. Don't worry. Everything is boom. We stopped the terrorists.
A fun one. Here we go, guys. I want to show you where most, and this is pledged military aid to Ukraine. Okay, so I want to just talk you guys through this. This is what was pledged. The United States of America pledged about $27 billion in support to go to Ukraine to help fight back the Russian invasion. You can see here that the rest of the EU contributed or pledged to contribute considerably less, even though they are far closer in proximity and arguably far more stand to lose far more if this war escalates any further. But these are just pledge numbers. The real numbers look a little bit different. And that's where I want to bring your attention here to this tweet from Glenn Greenwald, a respected journalist, talking about U.S. funding for war in Ukraine over the last 9 months. So March, $13.6 billion. May, $40 billion. November, $37.7 billion is the new request from Joe Biden's office. So Joe Biden's White House has spent already, if he gets this new request, $91 billion, okay? And that's worth, according to Glenn here, that's worth 33% more than Russia's total military spending for the year. And it's double the U.S.'s average annual expenditure for its own war in Afghanistan. What the fuck is going on here? This is some Team America World Police shit, and I need to walk you through some of this. We've seen all throughout the last year Joe Biden parading around all over the place. This is him in Asia, in South Korea, announcing a $40 billion, okay, another $40 billion of support. Here is the Department of Defense, okay? U.S. Department of State, talking about $625 million in additional U.S. military assistance for Ukraine on October 4th, authorizing our 22nd drawdown of U.S. arms and equipment for Ukraine since August 2021. This $625 million drawdown includes the additional arms, munitions, and equipment for the U.S. Department of Defense inventories. This drawdown will bring the total U.S. military assistance for Ukraine to more than $17.5 billion since the beginning of this administration. Fascinating. Okay, here's another $275 million. What are we doing with that? More additional arms, munitions, and equipment from the U.S. Department of Defense inventories. Okay, we've got another one here. And this is a real doozy because this sheet, the fact sheet, is actually published here by the U.S. Department of State, outlining exactly what they were giving to Ukraine. Okay, this is going to be the biggest, scariest list of military inventory that you've ever seen in your life, and this was just sent over to Ukraine. And these are the guys that are allegedly, trying to work with NATO, trying to de-escalate things. This does not look like the type of thing that you send to a country that you don't want in a long, prolonged, protracted war. So let me just read through this inventory list with you, because I swear to God, you couldn't believe this if you hadn't read it yourself. Like, if you're in my seat right now, I was just laughing for the last half an hour. But let's take a look at the actual list. So here we go. Since January 2021, the United States has invested approximately $19.3 billion in security assistance to demonstrate our enduring and steadfast commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. I just want to point out the word invested here, because as we just saw, if we want to take a real look at the U.S. annual inflation rates, they're at 7.7% right now. If we look from 2012 to 2022, we're going from 1.7% inflation in 2012 up to 7.7 in 2022. Okay, so this investment, I can tell, is paying off just lovely. It's absolutely a fantastic investment. This includes approximately $18.3 billion since Russia launched its premeditated, unprovoked, and brutal war against Ukraine. Okay, since 2014, the United States has provided approximately $21.5 billion in security assistance for training and equipment. Yeah, so by the way, guys, this isn't the first money that you guys are sending to the Ukraine. Money has been being spent there since 2014. So at this point, it's more like protecting a previous investment than it is making a new investment. This is really just about, okay, we trained up these guys. We had the CIA there running covert training operations and special operations teams there. And now we need to protect these guys because this whole thing has been set up so that we can fuel the military-industrial complex. And why do I say that? Well, this is why. Because this is the actual list of materials sent. Okay, the United States security assistance committed to Ukraine includes over 16, and guys, I need you to sit. If you're listening to this right now on Spotify or something like that, you're driving, you're on the go, you're out for a run, just sit down, because this is going to fucking floor you, okay? Over 1,600 Stinger anti-aircraft systems, over 8,500 Javelin anti-armor systems, over 38,000 other anti-armor systems. We don't even know what they are, but we sent 38,000 of them. Over 700 Switchblade tactical unmanned aerial systems. 142 155 millimeter howitzers, and up to 924,000 155 millimeter artillery rounds. 900,000, okay? Almost 1 million artillery rounds of 155 millimeter. And those are fucking huge, by the way. 4,000 precision guided 155 artillery rounds, okay? So 4,000 precision guided 155 millimeter artillery rounds. Okay, we're not just lobbing these things in anymore. No, we're guiding them. 9,000 155 millimeter rounds of remote anti-armor mine systems. Okay, what the fuck even is that? 3,605 millimeter howitzers and 180,000 105 millimeter artillery rounds. Okay, so we've got 155 millimeter howitzers, 142 of those, and now we've got another 36 105s. So holy shit, I hope you don't have tanks. 276 tactical vehicles to tow weapons. Okay. 22 tactical vehicles to recover equipment. All right. Sounds good. 38 high mobility artillery rocket systems and ammunition. 120 millimeter mortar systems and 125,000 120 millimeter rounds. So now we've got 155s, we've got 105s, and we got 120s, and we got shitloads of them, hundreds of thousands of these mortars. 1,500 tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided tow missiles, 4 command post vehicles, 8 national advanced surface-to-air missile systems, with munitions, missiles for Hawk air defense systems, 4 Avenger air defense systems, high-speed anti-radiation missiles, holy shit, 20 Mi-17 helicopters, 45 T-72B tanks, over 1,000 armor, high-mobility multi-purpose vehicles. Woo! Let's go! 44 trucks and 88 trailers to transport heavy equipment. 200 M113 armored personnel carriers, 250 M1-117 armored security vehicles, 440 Max Pro mine-resistant ambush protected vehicles, mine-clearing equipment and systems, over 11,000 grenade launchers and small arms, over 84 million rounds of small arms ammunition, 84 million small rounds of ammunition. Okay, we got more than enough bullets to literally shoot all of Russia. Over 75,000 sets of body armor and helmets. Approximately 1,800 Phoenix Ghost tactical unmanned aerial systems. Look that up. Laser guided rocket systems. Puma unmanned aerial systems. 15 Scan Eagle unmanned aerial systems. 2 radars for unmanned aerial systems. Unmanned coastal defense vessels. Over 50 counter artillery radars. 4 counter mortar radars. 20 multi-mission radars. Counter unmanned aerial systems. 10 air surveillance radars. 2 Harpoon coastal defense systems. 58 coastal and riverine patrol boats. M18A1 Claymore anti-personnel munitions. C4 explosive. Demolition munitions and demolition equipment for obstacle clearing, obstacle emplacement equipment, tactical secure communication systems, 4 satellite communications antennas, thousands of night vision devices, just thousands. They don't even have a number, just thousands. We sent thousands of these things. Surveillance systems, thermal imagery, optics and laser rangefinders, commercial satellite imagery services, explosive ordnance disposal equipment and protective gear, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear protective equipment. I think if you're in Ukraine and you're getting nuked, it's too late. But sure, what the hell? Send it. Make everybody feel good. 100 armored medical treatment vehicles, medical supplies, to include first aid kits, bandages, monitors, and other equipment, electronic jamming equipment, field equipment, cold weather gear, spare parts. You need those spare parts. Funding for training, maintenance, and sustainment. My good God, have you ever heard? Have you ever actually heard a list like that? I swear, like, how long was that? Somebody tell me right in the comments, how long did I just go off on the goddamn inventory list about what they're actually going to be sending to Ukraine or have already sent to Ukraine? And does that sound like the type of thing that you would send to a country that you wish wasn't in war, right? All I can see out of this is protracted, prolonged war and a fuckload of conflict. And honestly, I'm just surprised that this was able to go on for as long as it is. And it's not going to end anytime soon. And I am certain about that just based on that list there. But it doesn't end there, because when we're talking about the actual inflation here, so you can see inflation peaking. We've just talked about the monetary supply being increased by 20%. So we printed a shitload of money, and it's mostly because all of this material needs to be replaced. And who do you think's paying for that? Well, it's actually going to be you. And who's going to get the money? Well, it turns out it's going to go right back into the military-industrial complex. And so I wanted to walk you through some of the contracts that have recently been awarded to large military industrial companies like Lockheed Martin. Here's an article detailing how Lockheed won a $521 million U.S. Army deal to replenish the guided rocket stockpile. Okay, so the guided rockets, remember we just talked about those? There was a few thousand of those sent over to Ukraine. But is that where this ends? I don't think so, because there's a lot more shit on that list that needs to be replaced. So that brings me back to the top biggest Department of Defense contracts for August 2022. Okay, and this is just August. Okay, this is just August. I need to tell you that this is just August. So let's just read through some of this stuff. Let's read through some of this spend. And one thing I will say here is good old America. Okay, made in America. That is one theme that I can say is spread all the way through this document, because you can see here that a lot of this shit is being produced in the U.S. So I guess, war's profitable. And most of this money just ends up coming back into our economy anyways. We print it, we give it to Ukraine, then we pay ourselves back with our own money. It's pretty cool. So here we go. August 12th, the Navy, $7,630 million contract awarded to Lockheed Martin. Okay, so they already got $500 million back there, but that's not even the beginning. Okay, they've got $7.6 billion contract here awarded. A not to exceed $7.6 billion firm price incentive, undefinitized modification to a previously awarded advanced acquisition contract. This modification increases the ceiling to procure 129 Lot 15 aircrafts, okay, as follows: 49 F-35As for the Air Force, 3 F-35Bs, and 10 F-35C aircraft for the Marine Corps. 15 F-35Cs for the aircraft and Navy, 32 F-35 aircraft, and 4 35B aircraft for non-U.S. Department of Defense participants, and 16 F-35A aircraft from foreign military sales customers. This is kind of weird. Making a bunch of planes, but not all of them are for the U.S., but it's your money spending on it. Kind of funny. Okay, the second largest one that was awarded was $5.7 billion going to CACI NSS LLC, which is based out of Chantilly, Virginia. So at least some money's going back to Virginia. But they've been awarded a $5.7 billion contract for a blanket purchase agreement for enterprise information technology. That's some fucking awesome software. I want to see what that does. Moving right along, we've got the third biggest contract here at $5 billion to the Boeing Company. Okay, the Boeing Co. is awarded an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract with a maximum dollar amount of $5 billion, $21 million. Under this new contract, the System Integration Test and Readiness contractor is responsible for overall ground-based mid-course defense. Okay, not sure really what that means, but there's $5 billion going towards it. August 22nd, the fourth one is going to the Navy. $4.4 billion is awarded to the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory. It's a cost-plus fixed fee, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract for research, developing, engineering, and test and evaluations for programs throughout the Department of Defense within its core competency areas, including strategic systems, test and evaluation, submarine security and survivability, space, science and engineering, combat systems and guided missiles, air and missile defense and power projection, information technology, simulation, modeling, and operations analysis. Okay. This contract also includes options, which, if exercised, will bring the cumulative value of this contract to $10.6 billion. Okay, $10.6 billion. And remember, this is all on top of the $93 billion that's already been sent to Ukraine. Okay, we're talking like hundreds of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars here just going away. And at the end of this video, we're going to talk too. I want to talk to you guys, too, about where you're getting this inflation. Where is it actually hitting you, the average American? And let's just talk about it. Do you actually even care about this shit? Submarine defense? Who's coming? With what submarines? Where are they? I don't know what we're spending on, but this is kind of crazy. Okay, the fifth one, awarded to U.S. Special Operations Command. Okay, so your Navy SEALs and stuff. And this is the L3 Communications Integrated Systems. And this is in Greenville, Texas, and it's awarded an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract in the amount of $3 billion in support of armed overwatch. And what that means is research, development, test, and evaluation, for forces deployable, affordable and sustainable crewed aircraft systems. Now, this is kind of cool. So if you guys need precision strikes or armed intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance requirements in austere and permissive environments for use in irregular warfare, this is what's going to get it done. $3 billion. That's how you do that. The Boeing Company was awarded a $2.2 billion defense, space, and security contract here for C-46A Air Force production Lot 8 aircraft, subscriptions, and licenses. Cool. That is not exactly a Netflix subscription at $2.2 billion. So I guess Boeing's got some ballin' content on that subscription. Fiscal 2021 aircraft procurement funds in the amount of $147 million, and fiscal 2022 aircraft procurement funds in the amount of, holy shit, $2 billion are being obligated at the time of the award. So just a 10x on our spend for Boeing's software and subscription and licenses. So that's cool. The Federal Express team has been awarded a modification on indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, fixed price with economic price adjustments contract in the estimated amount of $1.63 billion. No idea what that does because it doesn't even say. This modification brings the total cumulative face value of the contract to $4.89 billion, up from $3.2 billion last year. So, I would think there would be a better description of what the hell that actually is, but we'll have to deal with it. Number 8 on the list is the Lumen Technologies Government Solutions, Inc. Sounds sketchy. Was awarded a firm fixed price, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract with a maximum ceiling amount of $1.5 billion for Indo-Pacific transport services to provide end-to-end transmission services and capabilities essential to the Defense Information System Network. Cool. This contract consists of a 10-year performance period, and I found this really cute. Individual orders will be funded by the Defense Working Capital Fund. Proposals were solicited via sam.gov, and 3 offers were received. 3 offers. So we've awarded a $1.5 billion spend here to Lumen Technologies because there were 3 offers that came in. So I guess, if you're shopping around for your everyday defense contracting, a couple $1 billion sloshing around, get 3 quotes. That makes sense. That's kind of what I do for contractors in real estate, but I didn't know that the government was playing that game too with a lot more zeros. Number 9 on here is the Patriot team has been awarded a modification on another indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, fixed price, economic price adjustment contract in the estimated amount of $1.4 billion. It doesn't actually say what that's for. Excuse me. That is for continued long-range and short-range charter airlift services for the Department of Defense. Okay, so flying around is essentially what that reads to me. So $1.4 billion to fly around in the United States. And finally, the top 10, the 10th largest contract awarded this year, was the Rolls-Royce Corp, Indianapolis, Indiana, awarded... holy shit, that's a number. $1 billion for the depot level maintenance and related logistics support of approximately 210 in-service T-45 A-Dur engines in support of the Navy. So that's a little crazy. So not even 4 new engines, but we're paying $1 billion for depot level maintenance. That should be, I don't even know what that means. But that sounds crazy. What the hell are you maintaining for $1 billion? Where is it? How hard is it to get to? What sort of parts are breaking on these? Why are these parts even being used if it's $1 billion to fix these damn things? Little bit crazy. But it doesn't stop there because that chart was kind of outdated, being back in August. And so I thought I should draw your attention as well to some spending here that's gone on. As of yesterday, this video is being recorded here on November 17th. And... well, you can see here, this article here is from November 16th. Okay, so General Dynamics. So here's some contracts awarded yesterday. General Dynamics awarded $181.9 million for a previous contract that they already had. Okay. BAE Systems Land and Armaments is awarded $153 million for amphibious combat vehicles, the total cumulative face value of the contract being $2 billion. Woo! General Atomics Aeronautical Systems is awarded $46.9 million. For what the hell does this even mean? For issued basic ordering agreement. This modification exercises an option to provide spares. We need spares. Okay, 46 million of them, whatever that is. Lockheed Martin awarded another $44 million, 44.9 million to provide procurement and engineering efforts in support of small combatant propulsion system sparring. Okay. Sikorsky Aircraft Corp. They're awarded $14 million against an already existing agreement. That's pretty cool. And it's updates for the CH-53K heavy lift replacement aircraft for the Navy. Alrighty then. General Microwave Corp. Holy shit. The General Microwave Corp. That just sounds wrong. Like that's a fed up for sure. Is awarded $12 million. Indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract. This contract provides fabrication, test, and delivery of modulator and signal generators. Okay, some hardcore radios, I guess. Raytheon, of course, always finds its way into the contracts when you're talking about the industrial military complex. And so they've been awarded $8.1 million. Kind of chump change, actually, really, for it's for just one thing. So they're getting an enterprise air surveillance radar emulator. Okay, not even the real thing, an emulator, and that thing's going to be 8.1 mil. And then finally, the Army gets some goddamn money with Airbus. Airbus U.S. Space and Defense Inc. is awarded $42 million to increase flying hours. That's what this says. This says to increase flying hours. I really don't know what that means, but it is kind of stunning considering the numbers that I'm about to read to you when it comes to how much you're actually spending and where you're spending your money these days. I don't think you're going to be too happy, but I think we should review the numbers. So this chart is actually a chart of the 12-month percentage change consumer price index, CPI, on selected categories, not seasonally adjusted. Okay, and this here you can see is actually from the government's website, from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So look at this chart. If you're watching this right now and you're just getting audio, you're not seeing a visual of this. We're looking at a chart where all items on a 12-month scale dating from October 2002 to October 2022 are going up, roughly double actually. Where in October, way more than double, excuse me. All items, okay, inflation, CPI, in October 2002 are at 2%. 2%. Okay? Now, if we look back over here at where we're currently at, in October 2022, it's at 7.7, and it peaked just in May at 8.6%. Oh, shit, sorry. It peaked in June at 9.1. Historically, the worst that it has ever been since 2002. And we're also including August 2008 is in this chart at 5.4%. Okay, so compared to the last biggest financial crisis that America saw, we're almost double there in terms of rising costs. But where I think this chart gets really fascinating, guys, is if we start clicking on shit. Let's just look at food. Oh, yeah. Food looks like the biggest exponential investment you could ever make. If you could have just invested betting that food would be more expensive in the future, you would be rich right now, because food went from, 2.4% all the way up to 11.2% in the last year. Okay, so when you're thinking about how expensive it is to eat right now, just know that it's because Martin Lockheed just got billions of dollars. Okay, Raytheon's got millions. Boeing has got billions. Okay, Airbus, billions of dollars from the U.S. military, and all this stuff funneled to Ukraine. All these weapons are just, they're being put into good work. They're great investments, as the Department of Defense has put it. Let's look at gas. Yep, up. Way up. Natural gas up big time, 18%, peaked at 38%. Oh my God. You literally couldn't make this up. These are the worst numbers in the history of America's economy. And this is just so brutal. Like, I literally am flabbergasted here. And then I just wanted to bring your attention to some major categories for October 22. You can see that absolutely everything is up. Everything. Okay. The food's up like 11%. Energy's up 17.6% on average. Okay. Major categories, excluding food and energy, are up 6.3%. That means that literally everything everything is costing you more money. And do you want to know why? It's because we had to send thousands of Javelins, hundreds of tanks, hundreds of trucks, millions of rounds of ammunition, and missiles and drones. And that is why you are being fucked, because America has to play the world police. And it doesn't make any sense to me, but you're paying for it. And I think that's really shitty. And I hope you guys understand that this doesn't just end. This will go on for as long as you allow it to. So how do you stop it? I don't know. Maybe show up and cast a vote. Get rid of these guys. What the hell are we doing? Is this actually what you want as an American citizen? Because from where I'm sitting, up here in the north, it looks kind of stupid.
We found the WMDs and the terrorists are down.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.